So what I'm looking at here is QQQ. I noticed a large move to the downside on that chart with a lot of volume coming in, a very large surge in volume coming in, telling me that there's a lot of selling coming off or buying into this level. And what I've noticed in the past is when you come up to a particular level with a lot of volume coming in like that, it typically tends to bounce to the upside a little bit. This may have been the move that I was kind of expecting, but with the V-shaped reversal, I've tried that before, and it usually stops me out, or it's just I wait too late for the entry and miss it. Just haven't figured out if there is a way to pinpoint a V-shaped reversal, because usually it'll come up to a level. I'll usually wait for it to kind of consolidate before it continues to the upside, but in this case, it just went ahead and moved to the upside, which is fine. But then what I also noticed is it started pulling back, a couple rejecting candles on this 13 EMA, but it came back to this level, and about that time, the video froze up again. I had to find my spot. So, anyways, about this time is when I noticed this candle right here at this previous day low, kind of shaping a hammer, like a hammer candle with a lot of volume coming in, telling me that there is a lot of buyers stepping in at this point, buyers defending this area. So I start looking into a possible long on QQQ at this point, just waiting for the candle to close to confirm the potential bullish sentiment, if you will. Also, too, I'm trying to do better about waiting for candles to close because if I've definitely entered candles before they close and all of a sudden they just kind of pull back. So here, with along with the amount of volume stepping in at this particular level, I decide to attempt to go long on QQQ. My stop loss from, I mean, my take profit area is to be determined. I'm just kind of, was I looking at the wrong chart? What am I looking at here? I'm not exactly sure where my take profit is. I do know that I explained I'm just kind of taking it a quick scalp. So you can see me enter on that trade. Kind of going back to what I just said about entering the trade in the middle of a candle. My confirming candle would have been this hammer shaped candle here, right there with the amount of volume. So I was okay with entering before that candle closed. And you can see where shortly after I entered, it did start to pop to the upside. So for the what I think is I think I got in at a pretty good time on that one. And I'm also keeping an eye on ES, kind of using this as a gauge to see market sentiment if it's going to continue, even though that's not Nasdaq. But I'm using this just to see what ES is going to do, the other indice. So writing this trade out, I wanted to see how long it. I wanted to stay in the trade. I didn't want to just get too quick of a scalp. I wanted to let it play out, see what it was going to do. After the fact, I kind of realized maybe there was a bit of a fair value gap here with this quick down move. So the top of this candle could have been my take profit area if I had recognized that earlier, but at that point, I was just kind of waiting for a pop to the upside, and then I was going to get out with no real level, honestly, other than just a mental take profit area. From what I can tell, you can see me get out of the trade there. From what I can tell, Nasdaq and ES usually kind of trend alongside each other. And what I'm noticing is this downward move here on ES rejected this 13 EMA. So as this candle approaches here on this 13 EMA, the previous all-time high, previous day high zone on the 2-minute chart, I wasn't feeling too comfortable for there to be much of a continuation on any chart really. So you saw me exit my trade a little while ago, and it did continue to push to the upside a little bit. But it did start to pull back right here on like that candle after the fact. I was already out at this point in time, but this candle definitely would have spooked me and I would have gotten out of the trade on that one, especially too, like I said, ES rejecting this area on the 2-minute chart with volume coming in. That just to me indicates that there's a lot of sellers protecting this area in an attempt to maybe pull the market back. And we can see if I fast forward just a little bit that the market did start to pull back and trend downward. So that was pretty good little scalp on my part, I think, just to take a quick little pop to the upside. Definitely got, I think, fortunate slash maybe lucky that I did get out when I did, only for the market to pull back on me.